In a forgotten town surrounded by forests and hills stood the Blackwell Mansion, a decaying relic of the past. Locals whispered of a curse, claiming shadows whispered and the air smelled of decay. In 1957, the wealthy Blackwell family vanished without a trace. The mansion was found locked from the inside, with no signs of struggle, only a blood-stained handkerchief bearing E.B. Evelyn Blackwell on the grand staircase. The mystery of their disappearance haunted the town for decades. In 1985, Jonathan Harper, a skeptical writer, arrived in town to uncover the truth behind the Blackwell family's disappearance. He rented a room at the local inn and began interviewing reluctant townsfolk who shared eerie stories passed down through generations. Despite their fear, Jonathan persisted, slowly piecing together fragments of the past. Convinced there was a rational explanation, he prepared to explore the infamous Blackwell Mansion himself, determined to solve the mystery that had haunted the town for nearly 30 years. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the shadows grew long, Jonathan decided to explore the mansion himself. Armed with a flashlight and a camera, he made his way through the overgrown garden and up the creaking steps to the front door. The lock was rusted and broken, and the door swung open with a groan that echoed through the empty halls. Inside, the air was cold and heavy, and the silence was oppressive. Jonathan's footsteps echoed as he moved through the dusty rooms, his flashlight casting eerie shadows on the walls. He felt a strange sensation, as though he was being watched, but he shook it off, attributing it to his imagination. As he climbed the grand staircase, he noticed the blood-stained handkerchief still lying where it had been found all those years ago. He picked it up, examining it closely. The initials E.B. were faint but still visible. Suddenly, he heard a soft whisper, barely audible, coming from the shadows. He turned, his heart pounding, but there was no one there. Jonathan kept exploring the mansion, encountering strange phenomena, objects moving, cold spots, and whispers. One night, he discovered a hidden compartment in the master bedroom containing letters and diaries. They revealed Evelyn Blackwell's descent into madness after learning of her husband's affair. Consumed by jealousy, she poisoned her family and herself, leaving a confession. The diaries also detailed her obsession with the occult, as she bound their souls to the mansion to keep them forever. The whispers Jonathan heard were the trapped souls of the Blackwell family, cursed to eternal suffering. Realizing their torment, Jonathan vowed to find a way to free them, beginning his search for a solution. Jonathan knew that he had to put an end to the curse. He spent days researching ancient rituals and finally found a way to release the trapped souls. On a stormy night, he returned to the mansion, armed with the necessary tools and a heavy heart. As he performed the ritual, the air grew thick with tension and the whispers grew louder, more desperate. The shadows seemed to come alive, swirling around him like a vortex, but Jonathan stood firm, his voice steady as he chanted the incantation. Suddenly, there was a blinding flash of light, and the whispers ceased. The air grew still, and the shadows retreated. Jonathan felt a sense of peace wash over him, knowing that the Blackwell family's souls had finally been set free. Jonathan left the town soon after, his mind haunted by the memories of what he had experienced. He wrote a book about the Blackwell Mansion, but it was dismissed as fiction by most. The mansion remained standing, a silent witness to the horrors that had taken place within its walls. But sometimes, on quiet nights, when the wind howled through the trees, the townsfolk claimed they could still hear the faint whispers of the Blackwell family, a reminder of the darkness that had once consumed them. And Jonathan Harper, though he never returned, would always remember the shadows that had whispered to him in the old, crumbling mansion.